All right, everybody, I'm back, and it is, in fact, the next day, so we're improving. All right, this is a flywheel puller for the MS362, the 270s, 291s, all those. Basically, you just bolt this to it, and then run the bolt in, and it pushes it off the crankshaft. It's very nice. Only thing I would change, definitely look at getting some longer screws. Those did not pull out, but I have seen, I think it was one of the 291s I was redoing, where they pretty much almost ripped them out. Bring this up a little bit. Now, as per usual, just a little bit of brake cleaner around the crankshaft right there. Make sure I don't have any grease on it. All right, I did look this up, and this is going to be another 33 Newton meter torque spec. I think I'm going to make a pretty good saw out of this. If for nothing else, then whenever I climb and need like a 20 or 25 inch bar. I'm being a little optimistic, I know, but I haven't heard anything. I've heard that these are not as powerful as the 360 or 361. That's pretty much the only negative thing I've heard about them. And I already did a base gasket delete, plug that off, so I want to see how much I can squeeze out of this. If I like it enough whenever I start running it, I might do like Tin Man and try to port it out a little bit and see if I can turn those strato ports into a fuel air source as well. Right there it was. Yep. All right, we now have a flywheel. All right, I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try without kitting the carburetor and see if I need to do a kit. I'll be able to tell pretty quick if I need to kit this thing out, but again, this is how nasty this thing is. That's how the whole saw was. All right. Well, the other night, the wife and I watched Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And that was actually a pretty good movie overall. I really had nothing negative to say about it. I don't know about the historical accuracy of it, but overall it was just a very enjoyable movie, which was very nice. It's been the extent of most of my excitement recently. There we go. All right. Now for one of the parts I've not really been looking forward to, which is cleaning this thing off. Let me get some light over here on it for you a little bit. Yeah, that, when it was sitting on my shelf, it had an air filter on it. I had never pulled the air filter off of this saw. When I tore it apart, that is the first time I've taken tools to it. I got the saw for free because nobody wanted to deal with rebuilding it. All right, that's a little bit cleaner right there, a lot cleaner. We're mainly worried about the inside because I don't want any more contaminants getting into my crankcase after I did all that. This will take just a second. I gotta weasel that in there. Okay, that actually looks pretty good there. All right. Got that in there. And now let's do a choke lever real quick. All right, there it is. Now the way you got to do that, you have to pick up on that kill switch tab right there. There it is. Okay, now what I figured on doing, I think I'm going to leave this out for right now. That goes under your air filter, and it basically keeps larger pieces of debris out of the intake, but at the same time, I mean, I'm going to try to do a better job with the air filter than the last guy. All right. Put that down. So we've got our carburetor on there. Now we're going to be moving on to the flywheel side again, and that one we've got this little bugger right here. It's just an air horn. It basically takes the hopefully slightly filtered air using centrifugal force and rams it up into the air box. Alright, so the way these work, get a slot right here at the bottom and a slot right here at the bottom. Got a tab right here and a tab right there. Those go in, and then you just push the snaps back in. That's back to normal. I'm liking that so far. Now, one final thing I'm going to do, then I'm going to start cleaning up an air filter. These are the plugs that go in the front. There we go. Overall, I'm relatively happy with this. Let me clean this filter real quick, and I'll try and show it idling and running. Check back with you in a minute. Alright, well, this is what I've been doing. The best thing I can see for right now, just for the moment, is to go all the way around the edge, and then I'm going to see about getting a new filter for this and seeing if anybody out there has any sort of upgrade or mod that I can do on an air filter for a 362. I don't want to throw the towel in on this just yet, just because of an air filter. But that seems to be decent on there. They may not have had it snapped in all the way, but I've got it in all the way now. All right, I'm gonna go gas this thing up, and I'll be back with you in a minute once we hopefully have it idling. I think I'm happy with it so far. We'll talk to you later. Take it easy. Bye.